All right, let's get it, man. Ross, what's up, man? What's good with you, man?
Excited for this, man. Excited for this podcast, man.
Ooh,
Excited
we
for
got
this podcast.
so much to talk about, man, because clearly we got to talk about, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, the retirement package that comes with that.
Right,
The fact that Ryan Garcia, aka, got to give it the ox, man. Motherfucker called him Ken Barbie. When I saw that, I was laughing my ass off. So,
right.
when something is great, I got to take it. So, Ken Barbie, he lost to Ken fucking Barbie. That shit hit hard. How do you feel about this dude losing to Ken Barbie, man? And what is the overall synopsis that you have of Devin Haney right now as a fighter? Like, what do you think his mental space is at right now?
I think he's mentally defeated because he thought and he was led to believe that he was a
Mm-hmm.
superior boxer than Ryan Garcia.
Mm,
So, could you imagine getting your ass whooped by somebody you thought you could whoop? Not
mm-hmm.
somebody who you knew would be competition, but somebody you try to bully. Yeah, I can whoop this nigga here lame, and then you get whooped like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's mentally damaging, man. It's
Facts.
mentally damaging, and I don't. If he can't totally retool how he boxes, which is going to be hard to do,
Mm-hmm.
it might be time for him to retire.
Mm,
Because think about it, you're Chenny, right? So
mm-hmm.
for you to move up to 147 to even have a further your career at 147, you'll have to become a way better boxer. But are you going to
Facts.
become a way better boxer in that time period? Do you even have enough time to learn the shit that you to learn the stuff that you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot. That fight lets you know how much he just don't know about boxing. He didn't know how to clinch. He kept getting hit with the same punch. He don't know how to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
His corner didn't have any useful information to give him at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, he might be retiring soon, man. He might do another big fight, unless he becomes Adrian Broner and just be a gatekeeper
Mm-hmm.
for the money. But if he's not satisfied with that, he wanted to climb the trajectory. His trajectory is plateaued right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he could make history, but I don't know. I don't see him being. I don't see him making history of being one of those guys that can just totally retool everything in the prime of his career. I don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
But this goes to show you that being undisputed don't mean a damn thing nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays it ain't shit. Let's be honest. Um, Most people think that when someone is undisputed, especially in today's age, they don't understand their various factors. Now we can say that Devin Haney is what he's always been, a full-blown email champion, because that's what he was.
Right.
And now there's relevance and credibility to that because of how he got exposed by Ken Barbie. You're not supposed to lose to Ryan Garcia. Yes, Ryan
Right.
Garcia has pop. Yes, Ryan Garcia has boxing skills. But if you were truly doing what you were supposed to, you were truly about your craft, and you were truly up under the tutelage of the Mayweathers, you wouldn't lose. And this goes to show you why he should have never left senior. And then when senior started to decline, he should have made the transition to junior.
Mm-hmm.
And this right here also tells you, as a son, because now we had Teofimo Lopez and now we have him. As a son, you need to step up and tell your father, and don't be afraid to tell your father, look, um, you're not in my best interest right now. So because you're not in my best interest, I cannot have you and be in my corner. You're fucking shit up. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to fire you. That's in the best interest of everybody. And it's okay to say those things and then not hide behind a person. You could tell that P. Diddy, B. Diddy, Bill Haney is so bad. And I think he's worse than Teofimo Lopez Sr. because if you notice, after Teofimo Lopez was exposed, Senior's been more docile.
Right.
But if you look at it from Bill Haney's standpoint, Bill Haney is still ramping up.
Because he cared about his own celebrity, not his son's.
Exactly.
He cares more about his own standing. That's why a day later, after your son loses, you can have an hour long debate with Floyd Mayweather about boxing. What do you know about boxing to where you can talk to Floyd Mayweather about it?
Exactly.
That's supposed to be a one-way conversation. Salute to Jimmy Robinson, man.
Yep.
That should be a one-way conversation. What is you and Floyd Mayweather debating about boxing for? And your son just got whooped like that.
Mm-hmm.
You should not be publicly talking to Floyd. You should be behind the scenes talking to Floyd, like, hey man, how can you help us get better, man? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Not trying to show him up. You trying to be more relevant. And Floyd is boxing at this point. He's synonymous with it. You can't show up Floyd in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was just a bad look, but that's the reason why his son getting whooped like that. Because his father cared about everything else. Everything else. And your son getting broke down and dissected by somebody who's not even that good of a boxer.
Exactly.
He just found something that worked and kept going to it. Your son could have died.
Yep. And it speaks to what you were talking about. And what you mentioned that was so great in the last live is Devin Haney doesn't have punch resistance. Can you elaborate to the casual boxing fan what that means when you use the word punching resistance and how that showcased and manifested itself in that fight?
So typically when somebody don't got no chin, they don't get hurt on every flush punch. They get hurt by a good punch.
Mm-hmm.
That majority of other boxers will be able to take a few of those before they get hurt, because they get hurt by a good punch. Devin Haney gets hurt every time he's hit flush by anyone, whether they got power or not. Lomachenko got hurt. This fight he got hurt against I didn't watch the fight with Progress, so I don't know if he got hurt in that fight. But pretty much every time he fights, if he gets hit flush in the face, he gets wobbled. That's no punch resistance. Put it this way: when Errol Spence went to fight Terrence Crawford, and Errol Spence, for whatever happened, he ain't had no punch resistance. He was just wobbly no matter what. Even when Crawford missed, he blocked the punch. He was wobbling. That's how Devin Haney is by default. Devin Haney's like that by default. So,
and you think that's why he fights in such a survival mode, because he knows that he doesn't have the punching resistance, but he finally met a fighter who could punch in between what he does and was able to expose the fact that he didn't have punch resistance.
Yeah, well, Haney's like Haney when it comes to the fight game, he's like a Drake. So what Drake is and what he appears to be are two different things altogether. Haney appeared to be a sharp Floyd Mayweather slick fighter, but he never was that.
Gotcha.
He was never Floyd. He was never anything close to Floyd.
So basically what you're saying, he ain't like that.
Nah, he was never like that. Ever. But he was packaged that way and people bought into it. But he was never like that. If you watch him spar, he got hurt in every sparring session, in every boxing match where he gets hit flush. He never eats a punch. You never watched a Haney fight. He got hit with a good shot and he just ate it. No, he always gets hurt.
Yep.
And with someone who got power and speed, like Ryan Garcia, that's a bad combination for you to always be getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? And that fight was supposed to,
if you motherfucking agree.
Right. That fight was supposed to end in a knockout. The ref carried Haney through that fight. The ref carried Haney through that fight. Press 3 if you agree.
Donate to motivate. We got the cash apps up, so make sure you guys donate to the cash apps. Anything you guys could donate, we would appreciate it. Yeah, go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of Haney fans are starting to come to the realization that they was fooled, man. But that goes to show you that
were they fooled, or were they just going by a blind affiliation of them being blind gang members, because let's just be honest, that's what a LDBC is. It's just like a gang affiliation. Once you're part of a gang, you going out two ways. Either you going out 6 feet under, or you have to die. So when you have that level of affiliation and tie to a gang like that, you're going to have what's called blind fanship and blind viewership. You're just going to go by what the status quo is. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but that's being fooled. But some people want to be fooled, and some people get fooled unwittingly. But at the end of the day, you being fooled, right? You know what I'm saying? What you think is not what it is. You know what I mean? If we had people talking about Haney was the next Floyd Mayweather Jr., survey says that was a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, survey says that was a lie. But you have people actually bring that up.
Yep.
Floyd never got undisputed this fast. Like, bro, if Floyd Mayweather did get undisputed this fast, that's letting you know something wrong with the system. That don't mean the boxer is better. That mean that's political right there. Because we can clearly see one boxer was better than the other. We can clearly see that. Because Floyd would have stopped Ryan Garcia. He's too wild. And he fights with his chin in the air. But if you can't get to that chin, it don't matter.
Facts. I super agree with everything that you just said with that, man. And that's the conclusive state that people have to come to. But people don't want to come to that because people feel like for some reason their masculinity is being exposed, or they feel like they're being put in a position where they can't comprehend what's put in front of them. That's why you have some Haney fans saying, oh, well, he was overweight. He came 3 pounds over. Just accept the fact that he accepted the $1.5 million. He could have easily also said, hey, man, your ass is overweight. We're not fighting. But he accepted the terms. So if he accepted the terms, his ass lost. Accept it. Why can't people just come to the exception of shit, man?
Because these people come in with their circles around them, their team, and they listen to the powers that be in boxing tell them, stay away from Floyd, man. You know, you don't want to. You let somebody tell you don't want to be like Floyd. In reality, you know you do.
Exactly.
Who don't want to be like Floyd? But you're making them gaslight you into saying, yeah, man, I don't want to be like Floyd, man. I want to do this. I want to do that. So guess what? You don't end up like Floyd. You end up taking a loss you're not supposed to take and getting your head beat in. You know what I'm saying? Because you trying to do everything but incorporate Floyd Mayweather Jr. and to tap into his brain to get his knowledge. You trying to do this shit without your brothers. Trying to team up with everybody else. Eddie Hearn, all these people look at you. Got whooped. Everybody who goes out their way to say, man, hey, listen, I'm not like Floyd, man. Like, I really care about boxing. Like, Floyd was the one that ruined boxing. Deontay Wilder took an L. Jamel Charlo took an L. Bad one. This dude right here, whatever his name is, Devin Haney. L. Press 3 if you agree.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Make sure you guys donate, man. We got the cash apps up.
Everybody who come out and speak against Floyd Mayweather for no reason to try to get on these white people's good side end up taking L's they're not supposed to take.
Facts.
Because they worried about politically being accepted and not worried about their boxing skills. Like, come on, man.
So basically what you're saying is Devin Haney pretty much became like the way Drake was.
Exposed.
You saying?
Exposed. Now the whole world knows. Now the whole world knows he's not like that. That he was never like that. Everybody see underneath that skirt now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody see up underneath that skirt now, man. Press 3 in the chat if you agree. You know what I'm saying?
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree, man. And here's the thing that I really want to get your take on it, because I think it's very important to talk about that. I honestly think that if Devin Haney is smart, he's going to do one or two things. More than likely, he's probably going to be bullheaded and he's going to continue on with his boxing career. But if you do that, now you have to make the decision to say, okay, I need to fire you, father. Like, you're not going to be fit to be the one to train me, and you employ Floyd Mayweather services full time. Now, of course, this loss is not going to guarantee that you're going to win moving forward, even with the services of Floyd Mayweather, but it will ensure that Floyd will run your career in a way to where he will keep you from the mentality and the saying that he's always said, minor setback for a major comeback.
Right.
You'll be running that regard. He'll make sure he picks the right opponents for you moving forward, so you're fighting opponents that you can definitely beat, and not opponents that's going to expose you, so that your career ran a certain way. Because that's what Devin Haney's going to need the rest of his career. That his career ran a certain way. It's like he is what everybody accused Floyd of. That's actually what he is. See, Floyd actually fought the real fighters because Floyd had the skills to fight the real fighters. Devin Haney, on the other hand, needs to be moved strategically because he doesn't have the skills like that.
He don't have the chin, man.
Yep.
You got a glass jaw, man. You know, it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ever been inside a municipal building and you seen that break this in case of a fire, that's Haney's jaw, man. In case of a fire, break this. That's Haney's jaw, man.
Damn.
You got a glass jaw.
Let's switch gears, man, and let's talk about Terrence Crawford. Now, we know he was mentioned in Kendrick Lamar's diss. I'm Terrence Crawford. I'm whipping feet. I ain't gonna lie. That shit was fire. That bars was fire, boy. I feel good about them bars. I ain't gonna even lie to you. But Terrence Crawford is moving strategically the way that we've been saying for years that this dude is moving. You moved up to 154. Instead of you just basically saying, look, I'm going to go the hard route to get the belts or whatever, he's doing exactly what he did at 147. Because at 147, the first person he fought was Jeff Horn, right?
Right.
It's the same roadmap with this guy. Strategically fight nobodies. Who the fuck is Israel Madrimov for you to go after that dude when you could have gone the harder route and then start out with a Tim Shoe? The reason why you could have started out with Tim Shoe out the gate is because you had, quote unquote, the supposed credibility of being a two-time undisputed champion at 147. So you could have clearly went up and fought him out the gate. Why didn't Terrence Crawford take that fight? Why did he go the route of fighting a nobody in Israel Madrimov?
Well, Terrence Crawford was hoping Errol Spence would break down and fight him at 147 again. That way he wouldn't have to fight Boots. So Errol Spence left him at 147 with 154. But the fight he's supposed to be doing is neither of those guys. He's supposed to be rematching Errol Spence at 154. But he thought Errol Spence was going to wait for him and cry and beg. Like, nah, you say you're going to fight me. You don't want to fight me. I'm moving 154. Now you see Errol Spence about to get a fight. So he want to hurry up and get him a fight too, because he don't want Errol Spence to have a belt at 154 if he don't have a belt at 154.
Facts.
But he don't want to fight Errol Spence.
Exactly.
People don't realize this is a duck. This is a double duck.
Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. The cash apps are up. Make sure you donate to motivate. Go ahead, man.
Because if you don't fight Errol Spence, you got to fight Boots. The boxing world don't want to see you fight nobody else. You're not fighting either one of those guys. This is a duck. Point blank period. This is a duck, man. And it's all on him. So all you got to do is take the rematch. Not taking a rematch, the damn move to 154 and fight it anyway. It's a duck. Only his fan base will argue against that. Facts. Anybody with common sense will be like, yeah, I got to admit he's ducking. Anybody with common sense, man. That's what I gotta say about that.
And you know, it's the trippy part about it is Terrence Crawford is basically playing the victim card. And I'm like, why are you playing the victim card and you're supposedly the two-time undisputed champion at 147? Here's the victim card he's playing. Oh, I don't want to fight Boots because I feel like I've earned everything that I was supposed to earn, so I don't have to fight him. Motherfucker, you supposedly beat Errol Spence. So there's nobody else to beat at 147. So if you're camping out at 147 and you're undisputed 2 times over, you have all the belts. You didn't make no announcements that you were going up to 154. So why don't you fight Boots at 147? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Second scenario, you're moving up to 154. Why would you leave the biggest money on the table of a rematch because you want to go and fight nonsensical fights? Then you say at this stage of your career, I'm using what you said against you now, Terrence Crawford. At this stage of your career, you only want meaningful fights. So you're trying to tell me Israel Madrimov is a meaningful fight at this stage of your career?
Stop it, man.
He says one thing, but then he does another, man. This is why Terrence Crawford is the Drake of fucking boxing, man.
And this is the reason why. Here's another thing he's doing too. Instead of fighting Errol Spence right away, he wants to wait and try to weight drain Errol Spence again and wait till it's time for Errol Spence to leave 154 to go to 160. They ain't gonna want to fight him again.
Yeah.
Because why not fight him right now?
Exactly.
He's gonna wait until Errol Spence gets a belt. He gets a belt, and then he's gonna want to fight again. When it's time for Errol Spence to leave, they ain't gonna want to fight again. This dude
using the top rank strategy.
This dude will never want to fight fighters at their best.
This nigga, and see, I'm qualified to say nigga. Drake's not. And by the way, this nigga, he is, for a guy who hates Bob Arum, he's using Bob Arum's strategy. That was Bob Arum's strategy. Look, let Spence do all the heavyweight lifting. You get out the bed, and then you go fight him. That's what they did at 147. Spence collected all of the belts. He collected all of the 3 major heavyweight belts. He did the heavy work. And then Terrence Crawford gets 1 belt. And then he's like, okay, now we can fight for all the marbles. The same shit is happening all over again. Israel Madrimov is the weak route. Why are you fighting the weak route just to get to the belts? When you could have just fought Tim Shue. If you would have fought Tim Shue, you would have had multiple belts right now at 154.
He don't want to fight Tim Shue. He don't want to fight. He's supposed to be fighting Errol Spence. You promise a rematch and you're not doing it. Like he don't want to. He wants to look as if he's something that he's not. You know what I mean? But if he fights long enough, he's gonna get exposed too. Everybody who's like not like that eventually gets. Very few people get to walk away from boxing and then it's not really that good, but don't get exposed. And they're normally white, like Rocky Marciano and the other dude at middleweight. Black fighters don't get to fake the funk forever. They let them get exposed on the way out. So Terrence Crawford, you might want to just take that rematch with Spence.
And then here's the funny thing about it. David Benavidez said he was offered a fight with Terrence Crawford at 160. Benavidez laughed it off and was like, I can't make 160. Is this guy kidding me?
Right. He wants to weight drain him.
Yeah.
He wants to weight drain him. And that's this dude's problem. He never wants to. He wants to fight someone that he knows he's going to win going into the fight. He don't want a real fight. That's the reason why, like, I'm so disinterested in Terrence Crawford. It don't make no sense.
This is what David Benavidez said. David Benavidez said, you can go up 2 weight classes. You can go up to 160, but I'll just go down 1. I'll go 168. We can make it happen. And Crawford's like, no, you have to go to 160.
Come on, man. Crawford just talking, man. He's just talking. If he can't weight drain somebody that's good, he don't want to fight him. Or fight him coming off like an accident, or fight him coming off a long, extended hiatus away from the sport. Terrence Crawford does not want to fight nobody coming off a win in the prime of their career. He just don't do it. He don't do it.
So let's switch gears. Let's talk Bill Haney, man. What is Bill Haney's mindset at this point as it relates to Devin Haney? And I want your take on how do you feel the Bill Haneys of the world affect and impact the Devin Haneys of the world when it comes to a father-son relationship, when it's put out there on Front Street for everybody to see?
I feel Bill Haney's priority is himself. It shows in the lack of preparation, the lack of preparedness for this fight, for all the fights really. Um, Haney has no answer for when he gets hit, besides the clinch. He doesn't know how to fight in the clinch. He don't even know how to clinch correctly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Haney does a lot of things wrong. He looks the part, but he doesn't. He looks better than he fights. Like he looks better than he fights. When he actually shoots the jab, like everything is just out of whack, and it's based in fundamental shit. So
Mm-hmm.
he don't care really, as long as his son bringing in money, and he doesn't have to say it. It's all in his actions. There's no expertise. There's no attention to detail,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something your son could die doing. If you don't have the attention to detail to know that, damn,
Yeah.
he's doing this incorrectly, or I can't reach him. Let me move out the way and get expertise in here to reach him. That just shows right there that selfishness and this self-centeredness, that it's about him, it's not about his son. But aside from that, man, y'all said y'all wanted us to come back to YouTube, but there's absolutely there's no engagement with this live stream whatsoever. Nobody's not commenting. Y'all just sitting here like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no, these live streams are hard to do when there's no engagement, man, at all.
Facts. No donations, no motivation. And then they wonder why we go back to reverting to doing what we do best.
Yep. What you think about it though?
But you mentioned now the thing about Bill Haney, to me, Bill Haney is what you call the quintessential stubborn Negro man. When it best suits him, he reverts back to being stubborn. When it best suits him, he reverts back to my default system. And I think he created that ideology in his mindset some time ago. I don't know when he did it, but it had to be so many years ago, where he just told himself, you know what? My default system is to be me or the highway. I'm going to be stubborn. And if that means that I got to run myself off the tracks, I'm going to run everybody else off the tracks with myself. And that's his mindset when it comes to everything in life. He doesn't care who gets obliterated in the collateral damage, because that's really what it is. But if he's going down, everybody else has to go down with him. And it just so happens that on that train track, inside the train, the two people that are inside there is him and his son. Now, most fathers, their mindset would be to be protective of their sons, to protect them, to make sure that their sons are not put in a position to where they are impacted. They insulate the son from that standpoint. That's not his thing. His thing is, I'm living vicariously through you. So because I'm living vicariously through you, I'm going to use your celebrity to push my agenda. He's been doing that from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been very clear about that. He has the LeVar Ball mentality. I didn't get there. My celebrity couldn't get me there. My abilities couldn't get me there, but my sons got me there. So since they got me there, let me act up. Let me act a fool.
But he's not even on LeVar Ball's level. At least LeVar Ball did teach his sons how to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And good enough to get them to the league,
Mm-hmm.
and for them to be fundamentally sound. Like,
Yep.
bro's son has been carried by Eddie Herndon on promoting him a certain way. He's not even fundamentally sound. If he wasn't placed in front of the right people at the right time, Haney ass would be just like Lomachenko.
Facts.
He'll have way more losses than what he got right now. If they wasn't strategically putting them in front of the right people to fight, i.e., smaller people with shorter arms that can't get to his jaw like that.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
People still want to see him fight Tank. What they gonna do with that? They've been talking so much trash about Tank. Can you really go your career and not fight Tank? Well, you know that's gonna be a loss.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the power to keep Tank off you, and you don't have the punch resistance not to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a waste of time. Him fighting Tank, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but by how much trash they talked as a camp, they kind of put themselves between the rock and the hard place.
They
That's
could
what I'm
still
saying.
get that fight
That's what I'm saying. He might need to retire
because at this point, he's not even financially viable. He's not even a good financial option build-up wise for Tank because he basically put himself in the back of the line. Tank is more best suited having doing a rematch with Ryan Garcia at this point.
I know that. Well, I'm
Being
saying
fighting
that.
fucking Devin Haney.
Yeah, I think we're saying two different things. I'm saying they talk so much as a camp. Nobody's gonna want to see Devin Haney's career end without him fighting these guys. Because they never just built up his fights. He always built up his fights saying Tank is trash. Tank ain't good. Teofimo Lopez. They always build up their shit by talking down to other fighters.
Exactly.
So no one's gonna want to see his career ended until he gets whooped by Tank and get whooped by Teofimo Lopez. These niggas. So
That's
he's
true.
gonna end up having to retire. Because I know he don't want to suffer these. Because if you think Garcia did you bad, Teofimo Lopez and Tank gonna really do you bad.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez.
They hit harder than him.
He is harder than Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
And then you have, he can't unlive 3 fights now. He can't unlive the one that a lot of Shakur Stevenson fans are going to be coming out the woodworks, and they're going to be actually pushing for Shakur to get the Devin Haney fight even more so than Tank and Teofimo Lopez, because now a lot of those Shakur Stevenson fans are going to be like, you see, he wrong Shakur. And now Shakur should be like, they're going to be pushing Shakur in the front of the line. And I'm going to be honest with you. That fight right there will be the retirement fight. I don't even think he'll even get the Teofimo or Tank. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Shakur's just going to play with him in the ring and beat him in a very torturing boxing way because of the fact that he was able to see, okay, this guy don't have no punch resistance. This guy gets hits, takes hits every time he shells up. And on top of that, he really does not have no footwork and fundamentals. Oh, yeah, I can pick him apart. So he's going to go 12 rounds picking this dude apart. It's going to be embarrassing, man. Like, seriously embarrassing picking this dude apart for 12 fucking rounds. And at that point, a Tank's going to be like, all right, he got exposed by Garcia. He got exposed by Shakur. Why I need to fight this motherfucker, man? It's a waste of my fucking time. Yeah, Tank could be the one to say that.
Tank is already saying that. He's already saying it's a waste of his time, but we all know Tank himself don't choose his fights.
That's true.
So it might be a waste of your time, but you might need a highlight reel under your belt. Because you know a part of Tank's acclaim is not only does he win, but he goes viral with his wins.
Yep, that's true.
And Devin Haney has that viral face when he getting whooped. Like he has a perfect face when he get whooped. Like how stupid he be looking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he has that perfect face, and nobody's gonna want to see Tank's at a point in his career. Nobody's gonna want to see him fight a good, solid, up and coming competitor. No matter how good he is, they want to see him fight names. So before they make him fight a number 3 WBA contender, they'll throw him in there with Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Before they make him fight somebody who's unknown. He's at that level now. They want to see him fight names. But yeah, as of right now, Devin Haney's off the list for Tank. Tank should be shooting for a rematch with Ryan Garcia. Or the other dude, Pitbull.
Well, Tank's going to be fighting Frank Martin June 15th, which is perfect because it's going to be billed as a Juneteenth fight, clearly because, you know, it's 2 black fighters that are going to be fighting. So I see why they market it that way. What is your take on that fight between Tank and Frank Martin? How do you see that fight playing out?
Fill out rounds, first 4 or 5 rounds, fill out rounds, unless you know how Tank is though. If Tank touches you and you can't take it, he's a pit bull in there with a poodle. Or if you touch and he touches Tank with a good shot and Tank like, what? He's like, all right, I'm gonna walk through this guy. So it all depends. Is Frank Martin gonna have any respectable power? Because it took Tank some time to fill out Romero, because Romero, even though he's wild, he had respectable power. So Tank filled him out, and then stopped him. And if he doesn't have anything for Tank to respect, this could be this could be ugly quick if you don't have nothing for Tank to respect. This could get ugly.
They both 29. They both undefeated. Um, Tank clearly is 29-0. Frank Martin's 18-0. Tank got 27 knockouts. Martin got 12 knockouts. Um, I just feel like, based on the fact that Tank dismantled Ryan Garcia the way he did, and Frank Martin really doesn't have a name that he's beaten, to me, it goes down to the experience under the bright lights. Floyd talks about this all the time, man. It's what you do under
Right.
the bright lights and who you do the bright lights. And in boxing, all boxers learn this cardinal lesson. Devin Haney learned the cardinal lesson. Once he started fighting the real names under the bright lights, it just so happens that it needed to take a Ryan Garcia level higher to expose him. But once you start fighting the real names under the bright lights, you're going to get exposed. Because people can say what they want about Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia, if he is nothing, he is talented. If he is nothing, he has fast twitching fiber muscles. If he is nothing, he has power. And he used his advantages to his benefit to offset Devin Haney's detriment and weaknesses. You can't fault a fighter for doing that. Plus, he had Derrick James's game plan that was like, look, punch in between the punch. Keep applying pressure and be technical with it and be sound. There were some things that Ryan Garcia did in that fight that Ryan Garcia typically doesn't do in other fights. He was more technical and he was more careful. And he was able to time those punches and then use his speed advantage when he saw the openings and he listened to the game plan. Ryan Garcia has a tendency to just do his little flashy IG shit, but he didn't do that in that fight. In that fight, he heard all of the doubters, he heard all of the haters. He used that as motivation, man. He said, you know what? I'm going into this shit to really fight. And he did that. He went in there, he really fought, and he got the W. To me, it doesn't matter what this dude do the rest of his career. This was a signature performance and a signature win for his career. That's why his confidence is at an all-time high, because he knew that he won that fight off of himself. This wasn't no flair. This wasn't no gimmick. He won that fight because he beat the man to the punch and he did what he was supposed to that night. And that's why I salute him, because that was the first time I ever seen Ryan Garcia show his true mettle as a boxer. Most fights, you get a flashy version of him, or you get an opponent they put in front of him. No, they put an opponent in front of him that could have also beat him, but he out strategically performed that dude, and you got to give him credit for that shit, man. And that's why you saw at the end, because Bernard Hopkins don't just give his nod of approval, don't come easy. He's the same one that told Canelo, stop being lazy and stop taking Clint Blue Raw. How about you just train and get in fucking shape? For him to raise up Ryan Garcia's hands the way he did, he was proud of him in that moment. You could see that.
That's facts, man. That's facts. But now Hopkins, he don't compliment easy. He don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's switch gears and let's talk about because I want to talk about this, man, real quick, and then we could just end it. Derrick James and Errol Spence. It's something that bothers me, man. Derrick James has basically filed a lawsuit on Errol Spence for $5 million, $2,899,500 for 4 fights that he was underpaid, which is disturbing to me, and then $2,100,500 for him being underpaid for this last fight. What is your take on him being underpaid for the last 5 fights, and how do you feel? Who do you feel that's at fault, and how do you feel that something like that is going to impact their relationship moving forward? Do you feel it could be rectified?
I don't know. I don't know the extent of their agreement.
They have a handshake deal. That's what Derrick James said. Their deal is a handshake deal, and the way it works is at the end of the fight, Earl will write a check and then send him the check, and the check is supposed to be 10% of your guaranteed purse or 10% of your overall purse.
And that's the thing, because legally, most judges aren't gonna most judges aren't gonna rule in favor of a handshake deal, but a handshake deal is more about integrity. If they had a handshake deal, then Errol got to pay him, man. This is what it is. If you're a man of integrity,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. But legally, a handshake deal means absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think this could come from Errol Spence probably feeling like they dropped the ball and being
Mm-hmm.
bitter and not wanting to pay him. But that ain't how business go, man. That's not how business goes. It all depends what type of judge they get, and where are they doing this at in Texas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're
this is in
doing it in
Texas.
Texas. If
It's
if
filed in
Texas
Texas.
if Texas sounds like a state that still honors handshake deals,
Mm-hmm.
and if they do, Errol Spence might just have to pay.
Yeah,
Um,
because what Earl did, and he did it in a very slick way, but Earl did give him 10%, but he gave him only 10% of the guaranteed purse. The guaranteed purse was 3.5 million, so he paid him 350,000. But in the overall fight, he made 25 million. So Derek James is like, okay, where's the other
of the back end.
2.15? Was
But
yeah
here's
for the
another
back
thing:
end.
if Derek James was never getting paid back end money to begin with, then
Mm-hmm.
you can't now ask for back end money now because you know the back end money gonna be crazy.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm
Because in the documents, February 13th, there's a document where Earl sends a counter lawsuit, and in the counter lawsuit, um, Earl's advisement that he got from Al was, "Oh, you being too generous, giving him that." So that's what Earl said. Earl said Al told him, "You being too generous to even consider giving him that. That he
Yeah,
should only
but
get what he's due."
that's true. But you mean tell me now you think that the previous agreement don't stick because you got some good information be after the fact you shook my hand? That's the thing about this shit, man. Like I love Arrow to death, but
But I
if
think
he
I think he being dirty, man.
if he agreed to do it,
Do it.
then as a man he should do it.
Uh-huh.
But legally,
Uh-huh.
depending on where this shit's being held, he don't have to. But
Yep.
this will change. This will change the way they are. I believe if Arrow pays him, if Arrow's supposed to pay him and he pays him, they could get over it. But if Arrow don't pay him, and if the judge say he don't got to pay him, but they both know they shook hands on it, I don't know if they're gonna be able to get past that because that's a trust issue.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you got me legally, but now I don't know if I can trust you, bro, because you know me and you both know what's really going on. Like Pop said, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like that's why you.
This is my take on it. I feel like Earl should just go ahead and honor the handshake deal. And this is the guy who's propelled you. He is a serious benefactor to every success that you have had up until now.
Right.
So he's earned the right to get all of the compensation that he is seeking out. Now,
Right.
you're right. If he was only getting guaranteed purse and he wasn't entitled to back end,
That's how you gonna get it.
yeah,
Right.
then
Yeah.
yes, you're not entitled to that. But if you have a handshake deal, and that's the thing about handshake deals in business. I'm glad you said that. So I'm just only going to elaborate on your point. These are deals of integrity. These are deals that really speak to your morality as a person.
Right.
And if the person is expecting you to honor their end and they put in the work to get you to where you're at, regardless how you performed in that Terrence Crawford fight, the bottom line is building up until that moment, he was there for every success.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure in every successful moment, you didn't hesitate to hand him the check. After you fought you Dennis Hugas, there was no hesitation. We didn't hear no news about there was a hesitation to hand over a check. I'm sure you wrote that check and sent it.
Right.
But because you were on the opposite side of the coin, you felt that you had to be hesitant to hand over the check. And
Right.
that ain't right.
That's not right.
That's not right. You know what
It's
I'm
not.
saying? And that's where you start seeing people's true skin when they're in a precarious situation. Me and Ross talk about this all the time. You don't judge people when everything's good. You judge people when they're in that precarious moment because that's how you gonna know how they're gonna move when they're in that precarious situation. And Earl's moving funny because he's in a precarious situation. That okay, I'm on the losing side of the tracks. I've never been on this side of the track, so I'm feeling some type of way about that. Now, if you felt the performance was bad, you felt that the training that you got was half-hearted and it wasn't up to par. That's another thing, but still,
that's nothing. But you
when
still
have we ever? When have we ever at a job, right? When have you ever showed up half-hearted at a job, showed up late, and they don't pay you a paycheck? They still got to pay you,
they
right?
still got to pay you. They just fire you.
Exactly.
They
but
just
they
fire
still
you.
legally have to be obligated to pay you that paycheck.
Or cut your hours all the way down until they make you quit.
Exactly.
Nigga, 3 hours a week.
But then they do that. They do that on the future end. They can't do that on that last end of what you already gave them. They still got to pay you.
Because they already
So
agreed to
what
pay
we're
you.
basically saying is, regardless of how you feel, you still got to hand over that check, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way that shit works. You see, that's why me and Ross are the final authority talking about these types of things, because we don't put our feelings in this shit. We don't give a fuck if we like you or not. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
At the end of the day, he's a man, and we do things out of emotion. We do things that are wrong. Mm-hmm. We do things stubbornly and pig-headedly, bull-headedly. So because we're not always in our right state of mind. You know what I mean? At the time, he probably might have said, man, fuck that nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers somebody should have told me that I can't, because Errol Smith probably went into this fight thinking, I know I'm dehydrated, but man, I done whooped niggas dehydrated before.
Yep.
And he probably wanted somebody to save him from himself, and they didn't save him. Like, bro, you got to save your own self from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because some niggas you can whoop dehydrated. Some niggas you gotta be on your best because they ain't no scrubs. They just sneaky. Terrence Crawford ain't no scrub. He just ain't good as people think he is. But he ain't no scrub. If you ain't at your best, he gonna whoop you.
Facts.
He gonna whoop you if you ain't at your best. Cause that's what he's made off of. He made off that. J. Cool, what's up, man? He made off that. Okay, we get a little more
interaction,
engagement. All right.
And make sure now y'all press 3 to agree. Press 3 to motherfucking agree, and make sure you guys donate to motivate, man. We got the Cash Apps up. The only person who donated is Jimmy Robinson. He did a super chat, man, but we would appreciate anything you guys could give. Your Sunday's best. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. So yeah, covering this, you'll rarely find anybody that's like me and he knows, because we're gonna be unbiased even when it hurts. A lot of people throw around the word unbiased. This is about bias and unbiased. When you really listen to what they're saying, they're super biased. They just throw that word out to manipulate you. Because they know they constantly tell you the same thing over and over. You're gonna assimilate those words with them, but really, like, forget the subliminals. Let's say a showbiz the adult. He said unbiased 300 times a video. But when he speaks, he's always anti-black, specifically anti-PBC. No matter what he's talking about. WDA, what's up, man? I'm glad we gave it some time before we cut off. Y'all starting to pour up in here, man.
There you go. And WDA, you also talked about how you wanted to see us or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we would appreciate, man. Press 3 if you motherfucking agree. Donate to motivate. And we got the Cash Apps up, man. Make sure y'all donate to us, man.
Like Sam said, IBFP. Another guy, they say they keep it boxing. They're unbiased. But if you pay close attention to what they're saying, they're always anti-black fighter. And if it's PBC, it's always anti-PBC no matter what. They're so anti-PBC that they only think PBC is black fighters. When a Mexican fighter go to PBC, they still don't call him a PBC fighter. That's how you know it's biased. Okay, Canelo with the PBC, they still don't call him a PBC fighter. They talk about, Canelo whooping all the PBC fighters. Canelo is a PBC fighter. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it pains me to know that people can't really sift through words. they're more so captivated and more so led astray by words than they are learners and appreciative vocabulary. When you appreciate vocabulary, you know when somebody's blowing smoke up your butt, man, up your ass. You know it. You know it. You know when they're blowing smoke up your ass, man. Because what they're doing and what they're saying don't match.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So make sure y'all press three to agree, man. Donate to motivate. We definitely want, you know what I'm saying, for you guys to show us appreciation for everything, man. Because at the end of the day, it's all about us taking the time out to give you guys quality and to impact and infect things the way that only He Knows and a Tom Ross can do that, man.
Well, Alex L, you're already not donating anyway. You might as well just stop watching.
Exactly. So your participation absolutely means nothing. It's like Kendrick Lamar. Me and Ross, we don't give a fuck what you think. So either way, we're gonna say what we want to say. So on that note, press 3 if you motherfucking agree. The cash apps are up. Make sure you guys donate to motherfucking motivate.
Because I see you guys in other people's chats.
Yep.
They don't break down nothing. All they do is give you the same news you go on ESPN and get.
Yep. And they tell you to donate every 2 seconds. I know some content creators that are my boys that tell you to donate every 2 seconds, and they'll yell at your ass if you don't donate the right amount. So don't even come over here with this bullshit that we saying it every 2 minutes. You better be happy we saying it every 2 minutes. There's motherfuckers that tell you that every 15 seconds you better donate.
If you feel offended, you can just leave. Because at the end of the day, I do this shit because I love it. I do this shit because my brother got a platform. And, you know, he want me to go live on. We love to do this, but I don't got to do this shit, man. You know what I mean? So if you're offended by us telling you, if you appreciate this, shows you appreciate it, you're the people we're talking about. You're the people that go to people's platforms, want them to go live, but then get mad if they want to be appreciated for their time. Like, yeah, if you're offended, sure. No one's making you stay. Yeah,
exactly.
That's like I tell my bros. I don't make when my bros talking about they getting tired of me, they think they should leave. I always say, "You free to go." I'll never say, "Baby, please don't leave." No, if you don't like it here, you're uncomfortable. You free to go.
Exactly. Cooperate.
Yeah, I ain't no hard to. Well, I ain't no slave master. You don't gotta stay. Yeah. Press 3 if y'all agree, man.
Cooperate or motherfucking leave, man. It's that simple for us, man. We ain't got time to be playing games here. Yeah, I have a homeboy of mine. He is a very known content creator, and he will kick you off his podcast if you don't donate. So don't even play these games with me. And I see the level of donations he gets. So don't even play these games with me about every fucking 2 minutes. You wasting our time by not even fucking donating. So don't even play these games, man. We come on this shit and we give you guys our expensive time and energy. Yeah, we're gonna ask for fucking donations.
Fact.
You motherfuckers should be opening up your wallet and donating. Shit. The fuck?
At least if you're not gonna
doesn't even need to be explained.
At least if you're not gonna donate, keep the prep speech, the prep talk, and just leave. Don't tell us some shit like that's gonna. Don't tell us this like that's gonna motivate us to do. Like you said that like that, that's gonna make us contemplate what we doing. Like you thought you really said some shit when you said that. Listen, when people want to watch, they're gonna watch. When they don't, then they won't.
Exactly.
They watching because they want to watch. It don't matter. You know what I mean? So yeah, at the end of the day, back to what we're talking about. Yeah, man. Me personally, I hope they can find a way. I hope they can find a way to get past this, but man, when you start talking about issues of money could make or break anything, really, depending on how much money Because man, people don't play about their coins, man. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. And that's
Yeah.
why anytime I get donations, and let's say donations are sent towards me, I always honor it with Ross. You know what I'm saying? And I always make sure Ross get his take based on what we accumulate for that live. Because at
Right.
the end of the day, it's an integrity thing. You could say we have a handshake deal going on, and he wants me to honor the integrity of that.
Right.
So that's what Derek James wants from Earl Smith. Honor that shit. Look, man, I got you I made you a Golden Gloves champion. I made you a 3-time champion at the welterweight division. I mean, if it was back in the days, you would have been technically undisputed, because back in those days, 3 belts made you undisputed.
Yep.
So you were unofficially undisputed at 147. So yeah, you owe me, because I was there with you. You owe me, and he's well within his right to say that. And Earl's at a stage of his career, it's too late for him to go get another trainer, and it would be actually a disservice to him, because he's too ingrained in that style of training. So he needs to just swallow his fucking pride, pay the damn bill, and then have Derek James at his corner for that damn Fedora fight. That's what I would do. It's too late in the game to be switching it up.
And this, it seems crazy though that this far into their career they start having these type of problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if this ain't real, this could be I'm taking that as face value because they don't file the paperwork that is real. But if it's not, this could be the same shit that Tank and Floyd do every time Tank got a fight coming. Every time Tank got a fight coming, him and Floyd fall out.
Supposedly have a beef.
They're supposed to have a beef, and then next thing you know, him and Floyd cool and fight that and shit.
You know what? Let's switch gears to that and talk about that. What's your take on that?
Shit, like I just said, man, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe him and Tank had the type of beef people think he do. But yet he keeps signing with Floyd and they keep working together. I think one altercation actually happened. They saw how much it generated, and they just keep rehashing that shit over and over again. If people keep buying into it, they go keep doing it. Because every time the fight is only when the fight is on its way that they got a beef.
There's a good comment here. From my own personal experience, once a situation goes to court, all ties are cut, and I can never be cool with you again. I mean, it depends. It depends on the situation, because sometimes you have to get the person to get that legal muscle, you know what I'm saying, behind them. Or sometimes you got to put that fire up their ass to make them realize that they've been mistreating you. So you're going to have to use what's at your disposal to get what you need, especially if it's going 5 fights and this man has been underpaid. I mean, that's more than enough time for him to say, look, I didn't even present this right then and there. It took time for me to present this, but I've been mistreated for years from you. So, yeah, I'm taking your ass to court now. He's well within his right to do that, man.
Right.
I don't see nothing wrong behind that.
But this is the reason why a lot of black people suffer in business. They don't realize court is part of business.
Yep.
It's part of business. You gotta go to court. You gotta form a business. You gotta dissolve a business legally, court system. So going to court for a business situation, it shouldn't be a deal breaker. It's only a deal breaker really with black people. White people sue family members all the fucking time.
All the time.
And be at family dinner and shit later on that night. You know what I'm saying? They sue each other and shit all the time, man.
And still talk about that shit at the family dinner. Yeah, I sued your ass, and this is why I sued your ass.
That's what America is built upon, and that's the reason why we kind of behind other people, because we don't understand we do everything from a moral base.
Yep.
As black people, because we have our own laws. We've been forced to live according to these people's laws. But the way this country is built, the laws run the land.
Facts.
The laws run the land. That's why it's more important for you to understand what laws the politicians are trying to push than the politician. You're supposed to be voting for the laws they're trying to push, not the politician. It shouldn't matter if you like the politician or not. You should be looking at what laws is he trying to push, what laws is he trying to stop, and do this benefit my people?
Mm-hmm.
You can't get into whether you like the person or not. That's why we so far behind. We think we're actually voting for a person. No, you're voting
Mm-hmm.
for a whole system of the way life is gonna be if that person get into office.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the law run the land.
Yeah,
The law runs
exactly.
the land.
Self-preservation is the law of the land, man.
Yeah.
And that thing goes over a lot of people's heads, but they can't catch it.
Yep.
So let's
That's
switch gears. Let's switch gears real quick. And I want you to break down um, the impactful diss of Kendrick Lamar, man, and his response in Euphoria against Drake. Like, I want you to start breaking down the layers of why this is one of those moments in Drake's career that he potentially may have committed what we call rap suicide.
okay. Let me bring it up. Let me bring up the lyrics first.
Mm-hmm. Because that Euphoria diss, oh my gosh, I've listened to it 10 times. And you know the phrases that I am thoroughly enthused by, the ones that hit me and hit my soul, man. I mean, I just couldn't believe he systematically broke this dude down the way that he did. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Okay. First of all, the diss is called Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Drake is a producer on a show called Euphoria. He's one of the producers on the show called Euphoria, and the show had a pedophile scandal. In the show, there's pedophile scenes, and you know Drake is tied into being a pedophile himself. So that's not, just the
Mm-hmm.
title alone. Kendrick on some bullshit.
Yep.
Okay, so the first bar, their superpowers getting neutralized. I can only watch in silence. The famous actor we once knew is looking paranoid and now spiraling. So you remember after Drake dropped one of those disses, Kendrick didn't respond. Then Drake was just on Twitter every day begging for Kendrick's attention, spiraling out of control. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
Mm-hmm.
he said, you're moving like a degenerate. Every antic is
Mm-hmm.
feeling distasteful. I calculate you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. So Drake has always been he's always been presented as this calculated dude that he does this, he does that. Really, it's the team around him that's calculated. And since he's been in this beef with Kendrick, Kendrick is saying, I've been predicting everything you're gonna do. You're not really calculated as you say you are. And the things that you have been doing is degeneracy. And when you think about it, some of us might be my I never did it on a public forum, but even myself back in the day, Facebook was crazy. And there was secret groups. I have did some degenerate shit like showing genitalia shit. But
So you mentioned
Drake
that
at the level
Euphoria
hold on,
part.
hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Drake at the level where he's at, Drake at the level where he's at, he shouldn't be like having videos on Twitter jacking off and shit because he got like young girls and young boys as his fans and shit who probably saw him jacking off. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's being a degenerate. You know what I mean? What you gonna say?
Damn.
What you gonna say?
Damn. I want you to go back to that Euphoria part because I didn't even know that. The Euphoria situation. What was it? There was an allegation out on it. That title, damn man, that
Yeah,
just makes this even more lethal. Can you elaborate more on the allegation?
yeah. So well, I have to look up the allegation, but what I do know is this: Drake is one of the producers for Euphoria. He doesn't have a personal allegation on him on the show, but in the show's writing, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of rape, there's a lot of sexual assault, and there's like people being molested on the show. And you know,
Mm,
in his personal life, he has been accused of grooming on young girls. So
mm.
just Kendrick using Euphoria is diabolical. You know what I'm saying?
So you
Like,
said sexual assault and what else?
huh?
You said sexual assault and what else?
On the show Euphoria, there's sexual assault, there's rape scenes, and there's children being taken advantage of, like molestation on the show. And Kendrick in his real life has been called into allegations of grooming young girls. So him using that title is diabolical. He said you
Yep.
fabricating stories on the family front because you heard Mr. Morale, a pathetic fabricating stories on the family front because you heard Mr. Morale, a pathetic master manipulator. I can smell the tails on you now. So Drake had tried to allude on his last disc, on the disc before last, that Kendrick's wife is running around with the bodyguard, and he's basically confronting that, saying that's a lie, and he got that because he got that off of Kendrick's last album, Mr. Morale, when Kendrick was basically admitting that there's some tension on the home front, and he had to go to counseling and shit.
Yep.
So you're not a rap artist; you're a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. If you can hear it in Drake's songs, and when he does interviews, that he still don't feel accepted to this day. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been in your collection. All right, so back in the day, my computer wasn't plugged. It was about to run out on y'all. Back in the day, Tommy Hilfiger got into a lot of trouble because he said his clothes weren't made for black people. And FUBU is for you, by you. FUBU was a black company, so he's saying more than clothing here. He's saying that you always been attracted to white ownership, to the whitewashing of things, but you never dealt with what's really black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never dealt with the culture that way. That this is more metaphorical than people think it is. It's about more than clothing. I make music that electrify them. You make music that pacify them. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. So this nigga, he popping this shit now, like man, I'm doing you a solid. Because if I get any deeper, it's gonna be over with. But I make music that electrify them, and you make music that pacify them. When you think about it, McDonald's is food that pacifies you. It does nothing for your body. It does nothing for your nutrition. It's not even real food. So it's easy to make. You know how Drake just keep making albums and shit, but they don't last long, but they're hot for the moment. That's like a McDonald's meal, you know. So that's like a number one for McDonald's, you know what I mean? It's good for the moment, but it don't do nothing for you. 3 hours later, you hungry again and shit. And Kendrick's music takes longer to make because it's actually some substance. So it's actually like a 5-star meal. So I make music that electrify them. You make music that pacify them. You know what I'm saying? If you look into the definition of the words, you'll know what I'm talking about. Know you're a master manipulator and a habitual liar too, but don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell no truths about you. That's basically self-explanatory, even though it is hard. I'm not gonna say I know every line of this shit, but I know pretty much a lot of it. He said, "Yeah, I'm out the way. Yeah, I'm low. Okay. Yeah, the island right here is remote. Okay. I ain't thinking right now. He's just basically getting himself up, wrecking himself up. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga. I'm reaping what I sow. Okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe. Okay. I see the Joe and the Jackson, symmetry, but I don't really know what that line means. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have to look that up some more. Hellcat made his homeboys type sell their soul. Everyone want to be a demon until they get chipped by your throwaway. So, like, yeah, that's true. In the streets, everybody want to be in the streets until they get shot up and shit. But what he's saying is he really touched one of Drake's nerves with a song that wasn't really crazy. Like, he only had like 4 bars for Drake in the Like That. But he got Drake showing his feelings out there like that Drake dropped 2 disses and shit. He said, and I might do a show a day. Once a lame, always a lame. Oh, you thought money, the power, the fame will make you go away? So a lot of niggas was lames all their life, but then when they get famous, they make a new persona. And he's saying like, nah, with all the money and the fame you got, you still consider lame. And that's true. A lot of people in the community would never accept Drake because they remember that Drake's not really from the culture. Like he basically put the culture on like a coat. He's not really from it. Have you ever played? Have you ever? Okay, nigga, let's play. Have you ever watched an enemy down like a poker face? Have you ever watched an enemy down with a poker face? Have you ever paid $500,000 to an open case? Now, this line right here is brutal because Kendrick, I think he's talking about himself, a case he done had, but he's also talking about Drake too, because Drake had to pay $503,000 to a sexual assault victim to make the case go away. So that 500,000 is not a random number. That 500,000 is poking at the fact that he know that he had to pay some hush money to a nigga, to a female anyway. So I hate when I rap or talk about guns that somebody die. They turn into nuns that hop online, like pray for my city. He faking for likes and digital hugs. Drake, that touches on another thing Drake does too. And Beast, when he gets to the point where it's like he's about to lose or he can't respond, he starts saying like, he starts copping pleas like, I don't want this to go further. I got a diss that can ruin everybody's life. I'm just ain't gonna say nothing. It's sad that we got to do this. Like he always does that when he's about to lose and shit, so he could get digital hugs and pleas. And he does that every time he gets this. He drops a sad picture of himself to get sympathy from his fans and shit. But you'll have to be paying attention to his social media and know that. It's his daddy a killer. He want to be Junior. They must have forgot the shit that they done. Dementia must run in his family, but let it get shaky. I'll park his son. So dementia and Parkinson go hand in hand. Bro, when new motherfuckers get your number, they think they just blow your shit up all day. So dementia and Parkinson, it runs hand in hand. Like a lot of people with dementia end up getting Parkinson and be shaking and shit. But this is a two-pronged attack. His daddy a killer. He want to be Junior. Drake is connected to Jay Prince. And Jay Prince's son want to be Jay Prince so bad. He always trying to act like he's the tough one, but he not. But also, Drake's father was the real nigga, but he said Drake not.
Damn.
The first time I shot me a Drake, the homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough today. I'll show you I learned from those mistakes. So he's talking about shooting Drake, the actual Drake, and shooting the actual Draco. So because the Draco don't have a butt stop. You hold it like a shotgun, but it's an automatic weapon, and it flies up when you shoot it. So you're supposed to aim down knowing that it's gonna come up when you shoot it. So he's saying the first time I shot Drake, I didn't do it correctly. You know what I'm saying? But this I learned from my mistake. This time it's on. You know what I mean? This shit brutal, man. Somebody had told me that you got a ring on God. I'm ready to double the wage. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nigga make. Let me say it again. Somebody had told me that you got a ring on God. I'm ready to double the wage. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian nigga make Pac turn in his grave. So Drake had bought one of Tupac's rings off an auction and was bragging about it. Like, everybody said they close to Pac, but I got one of Pac's rings. And Drake just recently used Pac's likeness to diss Kendrick. So Kendrick is talking about the fact that he got one of Tupac's rings, and he's talking about the fact that he's not going to let a Canadian nigga ruin Tupac's legacy all at the same time. Cutthroat business, you got to twist it. What is this? The braids? Cutthroat business, you got to twist it. The braids, people twist up your hair, they braid on it. I hurt your feelings. You don't want to work with me no more? Okay. It's 3 ghosts left, and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. So these niggas supposed to be ghosts, but all they do is spend their time complimenting each other and shit. Since when did the ghosts do that? They always be at each other's throats. Biggie Nas and Pac, most of their rhymes was about each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love him to death. And in 8 bars, I'll explain that phase. It's nothing nobody can tell me. I don't want to talk or no selly. You know I got language barriers. It's no accent you can sell me. So Drake always coming out and taking the accent of whoever he rapping with. Like if it's a Jamaican nigga, he try to talk like he's Jamaican. If it's Afro beats, an African nigga, he try to talk like them. You know what I'm saying? If a New York nigga tries to, he always try to take somebody's accents and shit. Like, you know, really when we think about it, we don't even know who Drake really is, really. But you got to remember, he said this. He said, "I love him to death," and in 8 bars, I'm gonna explain that phase. We only 4 bars down. Now he gonna finish it. Yay, Con already know I'm a selfish nigga. The crown is heavy. I pray they're my real friends, but if not, I'm YNW Melly. You know, YNW Melly in prison right now for killing his real friends. And that goes back to the first bar when he said, "I love him to death." And the 8 bars, I'll explain that phase. He loved them niggas to death. He killed them niggas. I don't like you popping shit at Pharrell. For him, I ain't heard the beef. Yeah, fuck all that pushing P. So forget all you pushing around Pharrell. Let me see you push a T. So you trying to diss Pharrell, nigga, diss push a T. That's the nigga that got at you. You know what I'm saying? You better off spinning again on him if you think about pushing me. He's Terrence Thorson. I'm Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I'm whooping feet.
Woof. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that would hit me, boy.
We ain't gotta get personal. This is a friendly fade. You should keep it that way. I know some shit about niggas that make Gunna want to look like a saint. So you remember everybody's talking about Gunna was a snitch and all that. He's saying that he knows some shit about Drake that would make that look like it ain't nothing. Cause you know Gunna took until Gunna dropped that album, it was fire. He was under a lot of fire for being a snitch. Okay, so the next lines. This ain't been about critics, not about gimmicks, not about who the greatest. It's always been about love and hate. Let me say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch a flight, it's gonna be direct. You know, you can take different flights. You can take flights with connectors and all that shit. He's saying if I dish, it's gonna be direct. If I catch a flight, it's gonna be direct. No connections, no layoffs. You know what I mean? We hate the bitches you fuck because they confuse themselves with real women. This nigga just the bitches you fuck. And listen, that's a double bladed sword because he be hitting bras that are really like trashy, like bust downs, and he also be hitting bras that's like 16, 17 years old. And they're not real women yet.
Man. Woo.
And notice, I said we. It's not just me. I'm with the culture feeling. How many more fairy tale stories about your life till we had enough? How many more black features till you finally feel that you black enough? You know what I mean? We still don't know nothing about Drake. He dropped all these albums. We don't know nothing about his life. We don't know how he grew up. All we know is what he's trying to be. Think about it. That's why I say he don't have no classics. Because he don't have anything speaking about his life. Facts. I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. You gonna make a nigga bring back Puff. Let me see if Chubbs really cares something. Back in the day, Puff had slapped him and pissed on him. A lot of people probably forgot that, but Puff Daddy had slapped him and pissed on him. And Jay-Z and them just sat around, let them do that shit. Yeah, my first one, like my last one, it's a classic. You don't have one. Let your core audience stomach that. They're telling where you get your ass from. Now, this line right here is ridiculous. Let your core audience stomach that. Your stomach is your core, right? Your stomach is your core. Let your core audience stomach that. That's telling them where you get your ass from. Drake had got a BBL done on his abs. So so his abs is etched in. They're not real abs. Oh, this shit crazy. V12, it's a fast one. Bow, bow, bow. Last one. Headshot for the year. You better walk around like you Daft Punk. Daft Punk are known for walking around with helmets on and shit. So he said it's headshot for the rest of the year, so you better have a helmet on. This shit is diabolical, bro.
Man, beyond diabolical. It's mad scientist.
That's just verse 1. Verse 2. Hey, Top Dog, who the fuck they think they playing with? Extortion my middle name as soon as you jump off that plane, bitch. I'm allergic to the lame shit. Only you like being famous. Yachty can't give you no swag neither. I don't give a fuck about who you hanging with. So it's been put out that the last couple of albums, Lil Yachty's been writing the majority of Drake's lyrics. So he's saying Yachty can't give you no swag.
That makes sense.
And one of his songs he wrote word for word. So not even helped him with lyrics. He actually wrote the songs word for word and shit. It's ridiculous. And he said, I'm surprised you wanted that feature request. You know that we got some shit to address. I even hate when you say the word nigga, but that's just me, I guess. So you ever been around a dude, he's black, but he's so whitewashed that you feel some type of way when he say nigga because he's not really like no nigga like that?
Exactly.
So that's who he's referring to. He's referring Drake as, like Drake Carlton. You know how weird it would be for Carlton to call somebody a nigga and shit? You know what I mean? He said it's just some cringeworthy shit. I ain't even gotta be deep. So think about it. Think about what this is doing psychologically. If this working how I feel like it's working, every time you see Drake talking tough or trying to talk like a real nigga, it's gonna make people cringe. So it's gonna take a significant part of his repertoire away from him. Because you're gonna be looking at him like an outsider. Every time you try to say something hood, you can be like, damn, man. Like, bro, get back to the melodies. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I still love when you see success. Everything with me is blessed. Keep making me dance, waving my hand, and it won't be no threat. Basically, he said what I just said. Get back to the melodies, man. Like, you know what I mean? Get back to making us dance and shit. And you remember, because you remember when he made that song, One Hand in the Air, if you don't really care. When he made out with that, you fancy, huh? He said, get back to that, man. Get back to doing those melodies and shit. I'm knowing they calling you the boy, but where is a man? Because I ain't seen him yet. Matter of fact, I ain't even bleed him yet. Can I bleed him back? When I see you stand by Nexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches. He said, well, we see him as Sexy Red, but when he look in the mirror, he see two bad bitches, him and Sexy Red. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with him. He going for his manhood now. Let's speak on percentage. Show me your splits. I'll make sure I double back with you. You were assigned to a nigga that signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga. So, and Drake's last real diss, he said Kendrick Lamar got a bad split, but Drake was just recently in one of the worst splits in hip hop history. So he's basically saying, like, bro, you can't talk about splits because it's been documented that Baby was doing you bad on the splits. So, and when I say splits, I'm talking about percentages and documentation and contracts and shit like that. You were signed to a nigga that signed to a nigga that was signed to that nigga. Try cease and desist on the like that record. What? You ain't like that record? So this whole time, Drake was trying to get the like that record that's number one. He was trying to get that off the airwaves with a cease and desist. So that shit must have really hurt his feelings. He said, "Oh, you ain't like that record? You ain't like that record back to back? I like that record." So he's like, "You ain't like my record? I like your back to back. I'm gonna get back to that for the record. Why would I call around trying to get dirt on niggas? Y'all think all my life is rap? That's whole shit. I got a son to raise, but I can see you don't know shit about that." He don't put the T exposing that he don't be raising his son, don't care about his son. So he's like, man, I don't have time to get right back to y'all niggas and shit. Like, I got kids to raise. But you wouldn't know nothing about that. That's why you on the internet talking about when you gonna respond and shit. You know what I mean? He said, wake him up, know nothing about that. He said, I wake my kid up, but you don't know nothing about that, and tell him to pray. Know nothing about that, and give him tools to walk through life day by day. You don't know nothing about that. He's just breaking down all the shit he do for his son. Teach him morals, integrity, discipline. Listen, man, you don't know nothing about that. Because you know Drake's father wasn't there for him and shit, so he really don't know the shit about this. So this is kind of deep. Because he don't know it. How would he know it? Because his father didn't raise him. He wasn't there. And he said, this ain't a 20v1. It's a 1v20 if I got to smack niggas that write with you. Because, you know, they say Drake got a whole team of writers.
Damn.
Yeah, bring them out too. I'll bring them out too. I'll clear them out too. Tell him Beam that he better stay right with you. Am I battling a ghost or AI? Nigga feel like Joel Osteen. You know, I don't really get that line, but I'm gonna look into it. I know it got something to do with like spirituality. Yeah,
Joel Osteen. I think what he's trying to basically say is Joel Osteen, because he's a happy-go-lucky preacher and he's known for being niche as like a prosperity type of preacher. He's not known for being like spitting that truth, spitting that shit that people want to hear. He basically spits things as a pastor to make people feel, you know what I'm saying, good.
Right.
And when you think about Drake's music, that's what he does. He does things to make you feel good, not to tell you the truth. And I think that's why he mentioned the Joel Osteen, to disassociate what he is.
Right. He said, funny, he was in a film called AI, and my sixth sense is telling me to off him. I'm a blick niggas all in their coffin. Yeah, OVO niggas is dick riders. Tell them to run to America to imitate heritage. They can't imitate this violence. So now he's separating. Now he's separating Canadian niggas from from American niggas. He's saying they run to America. They run to America to imitate what we went through, but they can't imitate the type of violence that Kendrick's bringing right now. What I learned is niggas don't like the West Coast, and I'm fine with it. I'll push the line with it. Pick a nigga off one at a time with it. We can't be on a 3-hour time difference. Not, you know, now you just showing this flow. Don't speak on the family, Crody. It can don't speak on the family, Crody. It can get deep in the family. Talk about me and my family. Someone gonna bleed in your family. The Crody is Canadian slang that they say in Canada. But the thing is, it's crazy he's using that right now because you rarely hear Drake using his own slang in rap. He always uses our slang in rap. So he's basically showing that, you know, Drake's scared to be himself.
Yep.
Tell me you I'm ducking around because the song just came out today and some of the lyrics ain't right and it's throwing me off. So I'm ducking around to the lyrics that is right. Whoever fuck with him, fuck you niggas and fuck the industry too. If you take it there, I'm taking it further. That's something you don't want to do. So basically he's telling this nigga, I got more shit in the tuck. In case you want to take it there, I'm gonna go further. And then he ends it all with, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. We don't want to hear you say nigga no more. This shit diabolical, bro. This shit yes, sir.
Man, you masterfully broke this thing down, man, because I'm looking at these 4 publications right now. And I'm telling you, this is making shockwaves, man. Rolling Stone, Billboard, Up Rocks, Hot New Hip Hop, Vulture, XXL Mag, TMZ. They all are like, we got to digest this. And here's the thing that's beautiful. Billboard talks about the 12 best diss Drake dissed lyrics from Euphoria. You broke that shit down. The 12, you explained all 12 of them. But Hot New Hip Hop, which is a publication that's heating up, talks about the specific 6 bars that Drake needs to respond to. And in the 6 responses that Drake needs to respond to, they're saying it's one thing, it's one or another. If Drake does not respond to this could be career suicide for him.
Yeah.
The shit that we just said before you started breaking it down, that it could potentially be rap suicide. So, the whole Melly one right here, but Kendrick Lamar also compares himself to Melly, who eventually faced a reach out for accusations of murdering his 2 friends. So first person shooter requires an explanation, because even though J. Cole's made his clear stance, I'm still up in the air whether the boy intended to legitimately pay tribute or disrespect him altogether. You basically said that same thing about the whole Melly situation. So this one here, you talked about it. Let your core audience stomach that. Then tell them where you get your abs from.
Right.
They're harping on that as well too. Everyone's laughing it off because everyone's like, yeah, he got a BBL.
Yep.
I mean, this thing is getting serious, man. This is why Kendrick Lamar wasn't the dude to be messed with.
He wasn't. Yeah, man. And
You did a great job
and
breaking that shit down, bro.
another thing this nigga Kendrick did. He just made that shit available for download. This shit finna go platinum. This shit finna go platinum. It already cracked the Genius website that breaks down lyrics and shit. It crashed for 45 minutes because everybody came there trying to break down the shit Kendrick said. This shit, see, right now, only half the people understand what I just broke down right now. Other half think it's close. Once Genius, because Genius is a website they made because of Lupe Fiasco lyrics. Once Genius breaks this shit down, it's gonna be ugly for Drake. Cause now all the simple niggas could go and read the breakdowns and shit and act like they've been knowing the shit all along. You know what I mean? This shit crazy, boy. What you doing, man?
Oh, I'm just sitting there paying attention to the breakdown. I'm actually looking at all of the stuff that they talking about in these magazines and these forums and correlating it with what you just said, man. And it's like it's throwing me off. It's like everything that you just said and you broke down. That's what I was doing. I was reading it. I'm like, you basically stated not only a breakdown of the Kendrick Lamar diss, but you basically said what all of these major publications are saying right now about the diss. This is bad, man. And for it to only be within 6 hours, and for them to already say you need to respond to 6 disses and you need to respond strategically to the 12. Whew. Yeah, that's why I was saying if Drake is smart, he better not respond, man, because it's only going to get worse for him.
And here's another thing he knows. Those are just the ones I'm able to pick up off a quick read and a couple of listens. Some of those could be triple entendres and shit. Because these people know each other on a level I don't know. We don't know them at. So how if somebody know you at a different level, they can say an inside joke that means absolutely nothing to nobody else but you.
Exactly.
So I don't know how much of this shit got 3 or 4 different meanings.
Yep. Because I can't believe the new hip hop magazine said that, and that's a publication that is firing up, man. For a lot of people that's not up to hip on music or entertainment, like this thing is serious, bro. And Kendrick Lamar basically did it at the right time. Because when you broke down Euphoria and then the whole allegations behind the show, I didn't even know that, man. You made me go and research that, and there's a whole big thing out about that. So just the tone in the title, he was coming for blood against this dude, man.
Yeah. Here's another thing. You know, Drake is half Ashkenazi. You know, they call themselves Jews.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped this on the day that Hitler passed. This is supposed to be a celebration for the Jews, but this ain't no celebration for Drake.
Yep. It's not. And here's the thing right here. It says on Euphoria, you highlighted that best. Well, you said this when we were powwowing before we even got on this. On Euphoria, this is what NPR says. Kendrick is proud of saying he is Drake's biggest hater, and he's flexing it. You remember you said that? So basically what you were saying was Drake's fan base cannot say, oh, he's a hater, because he 8-miled that.
Right. Right. What are you gonna say? Like, yeah, I do hate you. I hate everything you stand for. There's nothing about you to like. I don't even know you to hate. You know what I mean? I can't like you. I don't know who you are. You haven't showed us who you are.
Yep. Shit is crazy. And then here's it. Kendrick Lamar drops brutal Drake diss track Euphoria, and it basically creates a feud over online between Kendrick Lamar fans and Drake fans. So they're already beefing right now.
Yeah, well, Drake fans are doing damage control, but it's not just Kendrick Lamar fans. The whole rap world is saying that Drake's taking an L right now. It's just Drake fans are saying that the diss didn't have any power, that it was weak. They're delusional, basically.
Man. Check this out. And this is what people need to hear. That's why me and you are like really looking at everything right now. Because here you go. Yup. YMW Melly reacts to Kendrick Lamar's diss, and he says he is honored and appalled. He's appalled, but he's honored. Wee. Man, I'm loving this, bro. Yeah, this shit is serious, boy. And see, this is why you don't come after a guy like Kendrick Lamar, man. That's what I said. Drake. Okay, now there you go. Say Drake reacts to Kendrick Lamar diss. Start your clock. Okay, start your clock. The fuck does that mean?
Well, I guess they want Drake to respond right away, but Drake needs to take his time and make sure his next response is lethal.
He said, "Start your clock, nigga. Keep that same energy." Ha ha ha.
Okay. They were begging Kendrick Lamar every day to respond, so he's saying, "Don't change him now. Now you got to beg Drake every day to respond."
I can't wait. This right here, woo, this right here is that means he's gonna respond. I love it. You said he was gonna have no choice but to respond. That means he's basically creating rap suicide. I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this. Yep. This is me. This is a proud moment for me.
Yeah, man. It was bound to happen, man. It was bound to happen.
Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah.
Dude got done the fuck up, man. I mean, there's just no way around that. Let's be honest. That's exactly what happened, man. And it's only going to be detrimental or more detrimental. Any closing things you want to say, man? Because I felt like your breakdown was so critical, bro.
Like, nah, man. I pretty much doing the breakdown. I pretty much was able to get everything off, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the days to come, you'll see how people are gonna. This isn't gonna go away. It's gonna be viral. It's gonna keep coming up on Twitter, because people only understand the half
Mm-hmm.
of what he's saying. Once people really sit with this and break, this is the
Mm-hmm.
first day. Once people keep hearing it, start breaking it down more and more and more, you're gonna see still more memes and more shit that's coming out, because this is
Yeah.
very layered. The only people who are trying to like side with Drake are industry plants who just want to keep the money train rolling. People who are purely hip hop know that Drake got killed on this, but the people who are like the industry plants, like Adam 22 and people like that, who need the Drakes of the world to be popular, so they can have
Mm-hmm.
lame niggas to fuck their wives, they're the ones who are like trying to side with Drake. Because if everybody thinking like Kendrick, he ain't gonna have nobody to fuck his wife, because real niggas don't share no woman with no lame ass nigga like Adam 22. Like, I don't. You occasionally, I'm not fucking your girl behind you raw, man. You eat raw meat. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, me, I'm a human. I'm a man. You mankind. We ain't the same. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, facts.
You kind of a man. So yeah. So I got all my shit off, man.
Mm-hmm. Man, thank you for doing that, bro. You are a legend when it comes to that. Appreciate you doing that,
Appreciate
man.
it,
Because
man.
it's not easy for someone to break down someone's lyrics, especially um especially break that those lyrics, especially break those lyrics down in the fashion and the way that you broke it down, man. That's
And
proper.
I try to run through it because I didn't want to be all day and shit.
Hmm.
So it's probably more meaning that I missed. And so I did my best in the time I allotted myself.
Oh, you definitely did that, man. You definitely did. This live was real. It was good. We appreciate y'all. We're gonna tap in at another time. Peace.
Peace, bro.